Warm greetings to all our listeners tuning in to Daily Health Advice, a place where we share gentle reminders to help make the golden years more peaceful and healthy. Dear friends, the older we get, the more we come to truly understand one simple truth. Nothing is more precious than a good night's sleep and the feeling of waking up in the morning with a clear mind and a refreshed body. And yet, as we grow older, restful sleep becomes more elusive. Some nights, we drift off as soon as our head hits the pillow, only to wake up not long after and toss and turn until dawn. Other times, no matter how long we lie there, turning this way and that, our eyes stay wide open. We wake up not because we've had enough rest, but because we're worn out, our heads heavy as stone, our minds foggy and scattered. Many of us tend to think, well, it's just part of getting old. Nothing strange about that. But the truth is, a lot of people are silently struggling with what modern medicine calls cerebral hypoperfusion. In simpler terms, a lack of blood flow to the brain. It doesn't bring sharp, acute pain like some illnesses do, nor does it land us in the hospital, but it deeply affects our daily quality of life. When the brain isn't getting enough blood, our sleep suffers, our memory fades, and our thoughts feel like they're wrapped in a thin veil, hazy, unfocused, and distant. Often, when we feel this way, the first thing we reach for is medication, sleeping pills, brain supplements, or blood circulation boosters. Some feel a bit better at first, then become even more fatigued. Others take pills for months and still see no clear results. And with that comes anxiety about side effects, the impact on the kidneys, the liver, and more. That's when we begin to wonder, is there a gentler way? Could it be that just by taking care of ourselves properly, we might already have what we need to feel better? The answer is yes. And sometimes, the simplest practices bring the most lasting results. No expensive drugs, no luxurious clinics, just a few minutes each day of mindful self-care in the right place, at the right time, can make a world of difference. Today, Daily Health Advice would like to share with you 3 gentle, easy-to-practice habits that can greatly support blood flow to the brain, deepen your sleep, and clear your mind. These are age-old techniques, quietly passed down by our ancestors, and today, even modern science has confirmed their effectiveness. And to begin this journey of renewal, let's start with the first step, a small morning action that acts like a key, unlocking healthy circulation to the brain, helping to lighten the head, relax the neck, and bring a sense of peace each day. That practice is warming and massaging the back of the neck, a spot often referred to as the gateway of life. Back then, I used to think headaches were no big deal. Just pop a painkiller and carry on, no need to worry. But as I grew older, I realized no pain comes without a reason. Every heavy-headed moment, every sore shoulder, every bout of dizziness, it's the body's quiet way of speaking, signaling that something's blocked or out of balance. And the neck, a spot we rarely pay attention to, turns out to be where life, clarity, and restful sleep all begin. I still vividly remember a visit to my hometown, where I met an elderly scholar in the village. He was nearly 100 years old, with snow-white hair and sharp eyes. His voice was clear, his steps steady, and his memory crystal clear. I asked him for the secret to his health. He didn't talk about medicine or magical cures. He simply placed a gentle hand on the back of his neck and said, "Child, the neck is a door. If the door is open, the light can shine. If blood can't reach the brain, the mind grows dark, the body tires, and sleep won't come." Then he showed me how to massage the neck. No oils, no fancy techniques. Just sit in a quiet place, breathe gently, and rub the nape of the neck with the palm of your hand. When the skin begins to warm, when the neck starts to feel lighter, that's when you stop. On cold days, he'd wrap a warm towel around the neck first. Some days, he'd combine the massage with slow, gentle neck rotations. 3 circles to the left, 3 to the right, like a graceful dance of life. At first, I only did it out of respect for the old scholar, just to humor him, really. But after a few days, I began to notice a change. That dizzy feeling in the mornings disappeared. My head no longer felt like it was weighed down by a stone. I started sleeping better at night, no longer waking up halfway through. And in the mornings, when sunlight streamed through the porch, my heart felt as light as a cloud. I told my wife about it. She's usually skeptical of these folk remedies, but when she saw how much better I looked, clearer in spirit, sharper in mind. She decided to give it a try too. From then on, every early morning, the two of us would sit side by side. I would massage her neck, and she'd gently pat my shoulders. As we did it, we'd talk about our children and grandchildren, reminiscing about the days gone by. Mornings like that, to me, are the gifts of old age, nurturing both body and soul. One time, our grandson came to visit and saw us sitting there, massaging our necks. He chuckled and asked, "Grandma, Grandpa, are you practicing some kind of qigong?" I smiled and replied, "No, nothing like that. We're just clearing the way for blood to flow." Then I told him what the old scholar had said. The neck is like the neck of a vase, narrow at the mouth, wide at the body. Blood has to pass through there to reach the head. If the neck is blocked, the head grows weary and the mind becomes restless. From those morning neck massages, I came to realize something. Sometimes, health doesn't require anything grand. No need for hospitals or prescriptions. All it takes is learning to listen to your body, giving time to the small gestures that may seem insignificant, yet bring about great change. And the most important thing isn't whether you're doing the massage perfectly, it's consistency. Just a few minutes each morning. But day after day, it becomes a rhythm, a healthy habit that wakes up your circulation, relaxes your mind, and prepares your head to embrace the day ahead. Dear friends, if this morning you're still able to sit quietly, place your hand on the back of your neck and feel warmth spread through your muscles, then that alone is a blessing. A small action, but a loving message to your own body. When the neck is free, the head feels light. When the head is light, the heart can be at peace. And when the heart is at peace, deep sleep and joyful living will follow. And now that we've opened this first gateway, I invite you to join me in unlocking another vital pathway, one that's often overlooked, but plays a key role in blood circulation, heart health, mental clarity, and restful sleep. That is, your hands, the very beginning of the circulatory flow that nourishes the entire body. So the second step today is wrist rotations, finger massaging. One winter, I suddenly felt like my hands had turned to stone, ice cold, trembling. I could barely hold a pair of chopsticks without dropping them. Just trying to fasten a tiny button became a clumsy chore. My wife laughed and teased, "You're getting old. Your blood flows like a turtle's, and your hands feel like blocks of ice." It was funny, but deep down, I felt a pang. Because I knew, the body is like a tree. When the roots start to dry up, the leaves can't stay green for long. I went to the doctor. He said it was poor circulation, gave me some medication, which I took for a few weeks, but nothing changed much. My hands were still numb and tired, and my sleep still shallow. Then one afternoon, I ran into that same village scholar, the one who had taught me to massage my neck. He looked at me, gave a faint smile, then held up his thin, bony hands and said, "Remember the story about the neck? Now let's talk about the hands. The hands are the beginning of the heart. If blood can reach your fingertips, it can return to your heart. Rotate your wrists in the morning, massage your fingers at night. Don't believe me? Just try it for a week, then we'll talk." So I followed his advice. Every morning, I'd sit quietly by the porch, gently close my fists, and begin rotating my wrists. Slow, steady circles. 3 minutes to the left, 3 to the right. In the evenings, before bed, I'd use my thumbs to gently stroke each finger, from base to tip, slowly, feeling the warmth begin to spread. At first, my hands were stiff like wood, and my wrists cracked with each turn. But after a few days, they began to soften, move more freely. Most importantly, they warmed up. A pleasant sensation spread from my fingers, up my arms, and it felt as though a current was flowing through my whole body. A few days later, I could hold a cup of tea without my hands shaking. I could wash dishes without dropping or breaking anything like before. But most noticeably, my mind felt lighter, as if a thin fog had lifted. I shared this experience with some of the old friends in my neighborhood. At first, they laughed. "What good is that supposed to do?" But then one gave it a try, then another. A week later, Mr. Sao, who often suffered from shoulder pain and insomnia, called me up in the middle of the day. "Hey, I never thought the hands were so connected to the neck and shoulders. I slept straight through the night last night, didn't even dream." The more time passed, the more I came to understand what the old scholar had emphasized years ago. According to Eastern medicine, the hands are the starting point of the blood channels. The palms contain countless important acupoints, like Higu and Laogong. directly connected to the heart, liver, and lungs. When we massage and gently stroke these areas, we're not just caring for skin and muscle, we're awakening an intricate network of energy and blood flow throughout the body. Modern medicine also confirms that the palms and fingertips are home to a high concentration of nerve endings. When stimulated properly, they help improve circulation, reduce stress, regulate the heartbeat, and enhance sleep quality. Whether from science or tradition, both arrive at the same conclusion. Our hands are not just tools for grasping. They are bridges between the body and life itself. And the best part is, you don't have to be an expert. You don't need to memorize all the acupoints. All it takes is a few wrist rotations each morning, a few minutes of finger stroking each night. Slowly, patiently, with love. These days, my wife is even more dedicated than I am. Every night before bed, we sit together. She massages my hands, and I massage hers. Sometimes we don't say a word, just listen to the wind outside the window, watch the oil lamp flicker. Peaceful, simple, yet deep within, there's a sense of serenity, as if we're touching our youth again, not through strength, but through presence. One friend once asked me, "What's the point of all these movements? Can they help slow down aging?" I smiled and replied, "No, they won't make you young again, but they help you grow old gently. To grow old without trembling hands, without dizziness, without waking up startled in the middle of the night, that's more than enough." And I truly believe the miracle isn't in the motions, it's in the act of pausing, of listening to your body. When you take the time to rotate your wrists, to stroke your fingertips, you're sending a message. I care about you, my body. And your body, like an old friend long forgotten, will quietly respond with gentle, lasting change. Dear friends, if this morning your hands can still move freely, if tonight you can still softly stroke each finger, that is a gift. A reminder that we still have the chance to take care of ourselves, without pills or machines, just with our own two hands. And once our hands are open, once the warmth has flowed from fingertip to shoulder, it's time to turn our care to another part of the body, one that holds much of our tension by the end of the day, and if neglected, can cause aches, cramps, numbness, and sleepless nights. Yes, I'm talking about the feet, the roots of the body, the foundation that carries us through life. And the third step, a special gift from yoga and traditional wellness practices, is this: resting your legs up against the wall before going to bed. A small, simple movement, but one that will surprise you with what it can do. There were nights I lay restless, tossing and turning from calf pain, aching knees, or sudden leg cramps. I assumed it was just old age, a calcium deficiency, or poor blood circulation. So I hurried to take iron pills, sleep aids, anything that might help. But even after all that, my nights were still restless, my sleep still foggy and full of strange dreams. Then one day, my daughter, a yoga teacher in the city, came home to visit us. She saw me rubbing my legs in the middle of the night and asked, "Dad, your legs bothering you again? Let me show you a simple technique. It's easy, but incredibly effective. A lot of my older students have tried it and say they sleep much better." I chuckled, skeptical. "What kind of magical trick is that?" She replied, "Just prop your legs up against the wall before going to sleep. That's it." I frowned. These old legs are stiff as wood. Lifting them up might just make my cramps worse. She shook her head. "You don't need to lift them high. Just scoot your hips close to the wall, straighten your legs up along it, and hold the position for 15 to 20 minutes. Then lie down and sleep. Just try it once, Dad. Don't overthink it." That night, I gave it a go. Took me a while to wiggle my back against the wall and stretch my legs up. My joints popped and cracked, but I managed. At first, it felt a bit uncomfortable, blood rushing in reverse, a slight tightness in my belly. But after a few minutes, I began to feel a cool sensation rising from my feet, through my abdomen, up to my chest, and finally to my head. It was as if my whole body was slowly cooling down, being restored. I closed my eyes, let go of my thoughts, and simply breathed. And then, for the first time in weeks, I slept straight through the night. No jolts awake, no restless dreams. I woke up feeling light. No heavy legs, no dizziness. My mind was clear in a way I hadn't felt for a long time. The next day, I told my wife. She's usually not one to believe in exercise routines, but seeing how refreshed I was, how deeply I slept, she got curious. That evening, the two of us lay down along the edge of the bed, turned on a soft night light, and stretched our legs up the wall, breathing slowly. The room was quiet. No words were needed, just the sound of our calm breath and the gentle passing of time. Since that night, putting our legs up against the wall has become a bedtime ritual. No medication, no fancy gadgets. Just one simple movement, yet as effective as a natural sedative, gentle and profound. It reminded me of what the old scholar once said, a man who never spent a day in the hospital but lived nearly 100 years. He told me, sleep is when the blood returns to the heart and brain. If it's still pooling in the legs, the mind can't rest, the dreams won't end, the spirit won't settle. He explained that in the old days, people didn't use thick pillows, just a thin wooden block to keep the head level with the spine. And as for the legs, they'd prop them up slightly with a cloth pillow or folded blanket to keep the blood from staying in the lower body. At the time, I listened without much thought. But now I get it. Throughout the day, our legs bear our weight. Standing, walking, bending, stretching. Gravity pulls blood downward, where it accumulates. If we don't reverse that flow before bedtime, we're essentially leaving stagnant water to settle, silently causing harm. Many nights, as I lie there with my legs against the wall, breathing steadily, I find myself thinking about loved ones who've passed. Some who suffered strokes in their sleep. Others who fell during the night because their legs went numb. In those moments, this doesn't feel like yoga anymore. It feels like a reminder that caring for our body is something we can do, should do, and must do every day. My friends in the village heard about it and started trying it themselves. Mr. Ba, who often had leg cramps, gave it a shot and called me a few days later. I did what you said, and now I feel so light. I sleep better than I ever did with sleeping pills. Ms. Tu, who used to have numbness in her legs, said, I don't know if it's yoga or what, but after 15 minutes with my legs up, I feel warm, the blood's flowing, and falling asleep is so much easier. I told them, that's your blood returning to where it belongs. The more I think about it, the more I realize the elderly are like ancient trees, scorched by the sun during the day, chilled by the dew at night. If the roots aren't kept warm, if water pools at the base, the tree becomes brittle. Putting our legs up the wall is like digging a little channel, helping the water flow freely. When blood doesn't pool in the legs, the heart stays strong, the mind stays sharp, and sleep comes naturally, without needing to chase it. My wife even started brewing jiagulan tea before our leg-up sessions. She says, the tea cools the liver, and lifting the legs helps blood return to the heart. Inside and out, a perfect balance. I laughed. Look at you, combining Eastern and Western medicine now. But inside, I felt warm, because here we are, both in our 70s, still taking care of ourselves. Every night, we don't need much, just a quiet moment, a wall, 2 tired legs, and 1 deep breath. Someone once asked me, how long before it starts to work? I didn't answer with a number of days. I simply said, when you do it regularly each night, there will come a moment when you no longer notice your legs are up. Only that your body feels lighter, your breath flows steadily, and sleep arrives like an old friend returning after many years away. And in that moment, you'll understand. It wasn't because the exercise was magical, but because you were willing to pause, to listen, and to show your body just a little more care each day. Dear friends, if this morning you can still walk, and if tonight your legs can still feel, don't wait until the pain starts. Don't wait until you need a cane or are confined to a hospital bed to begin paying attention. Putting your legs up against the wall, as simple as it may sound, is a way to return blood to the heart, to bring peace back into your breath, and to guide sleep back to where it belongs, the calmest corner of your soul. And just as we warmed the neck to send blood to the brain, just as we rotated the wrists to open the body's energy pathways, now, with our legs relaxed and blood no longer pooling at our heels, but flowing back to the heart, you and I, dear friends, have completed 3 simple, yet powerful steps to help the body circulate, the mind unwind, and the spirit rest easier each night. To close today's journey, I invite you to join me for a final heartfelt reflection. A few sincere words I'd like to offer to all those quietly searching for sleep and wellness in the later years of life. Dear friends, we've just walked together through a gentle journey, not a miracle cure, nor some lavish secret, but 3 simple, quiet, and deeply meaningful steps. Warming the back of the neck, rotating the wrists and massaging the fingertips, and resting our legs against the wall before sleep. At first glance, these may seem like small, insignificant actions, but if you listen closely, you'll realize they are gentle knocks on the door of your health, soft messages from your body whispering, "Come back to me. Let me breathe. Let me flow. Let me live fully once more." Because in the twilight of life, we no longer need grand things. Perhaps the most precious gift is simply a peaceful sleep, undisturbed, dreamless, and deep, and a morning where we wake without heaviness in the head, without numb feet or cold hands. Our health in old age is something no one else can give us, only we can. And thankfully, it doesn't demand much. Just a little consistency each day, a little attentiveness, a little love shown to our bodies through the simplest of acts. And with that, we begin to change the quality of our lives. If this morning, you were still able to sit and warm your neck, if your mind was clear enough to rotate your wrists, if your body was strong enough to stretch your legs up the wall, then please consider that a gift. And cherish that gift by nurturing it, preserving it, holding it close every single day. And if today's sharing brought you a bit of warmth, a bit of inspiration, a gentle spark to start loving your body again, then Daily Health Advice feels our mission has meaning. Dear friends, if you find this message helpful, please share it with others, your loved ones, your friends, because sometimes just one small action today may change the course of someone's health for a lifetime. We'll be back again with more quiet, heartfelt stories, because what we hope for each day is not to stand out, but to walk alongside you, to share something meaningful, to light a small lamp in the room of growing old. Daily Health Advice, where life stories are told in the voice of experience. Wishing you good health, serenity, and many restful nights, like a cool stream returning home to its source. Until we meet again in the next story.